Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have more major 2024 election updates. At this point, a little bit over a week before the debate happening on the 10th. So it'll be next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, 8 days. That is when the huge first presidential debate is happening. And then the speculation is the second debate will be sometime in October. The VP debate will be on October 1st as well. But we do have this Texas poll that came out. The recent one you could see on August 13th was Trump +7. The newest one is Trump +9, which is very good. You want to see Trump win Texas by hopefully around 9 or 10 points, especially considering it's gotten a little bit tighter over the past few election cycles, but a +9 is certainly passable. I saw a recent Ohio poll that was also Trump +9. That is relatively good as well. Trump won Ohio by 8 points in 2016 and 2020. I would say probably 8, maybe 10 points, somewhere within that in terms of margin. Both Ohio and Texas, it seems like that. You've also got RFK Jr. coming out and saying this was in response to what Trump said during one of his rallies in Pennsylvania, talking about old fashioned liberals flipping parties. And a lot of people have talked about kind of and this is kind of what Joe Rogan says, the old liberal, where they were and where their party was compared to where they are right now, and just how ridiculous it's gotten. I'm sure liberals think that about conservatives as well because of Trump, but it's really the core beliefs of conservatives. They really haven't changed. With liberals, they've gotten more and more and more to the left. And part of it is them self admitting it by saying, well, we're still not left enough. Just look at Europe. Yeah, well, that's the problem. Just look at Europe. Look at all of the ridiculous immigration mess. And now you've got the government siding with the illegal immigrants over their own citizens, calling their own citizens racist for trying to say, listen, these people just can't come in here and just take over. That's the problem. They can't assimilate with the culture. They want people to change for them, yet they're the ones coming into the country. That's the same issue we have here in the United States. The other thing is it's incentivized. The illegal immigration is that's like Nancy Pelosi saying on Bill Maher a few nights ago, talking about how, oh, we need all the immigrants to not be illegal. They need to be legal. So she's saying that she wants to legalize them and give them amnesty. And that's why the idea that Kamala Harris is going to be tough on immigration is just so ridiculous. She says she's going to build the wall, so she just copies Trump there. But then she also wants to give amnesty to all the illegals. So it's like literally the worst aspects of Trump. She's just copying Trump in a sense. But then she says, oh, the people already that are already in the country, even though we're going to build a wall to try and stop the illegal immigration, the ones that have already committed the crime of illegally immigrating. And by the way, there's a tweet of her saying that no immigrant should be illegal. That's the whole thing that they would say 3 or 4 years ago. She probably wants to delete it now. But it's like you want to stop illegal immigration, but there's already 10 to 15 million illegals. Trump says there's up to 20 million in the country now. Why would you reward them with citizenship? Oh, is it maybe because you need more votes? And then they argue and say that, oh, Trump's never won the popular vote. Yeah, I wonder why. You've got people in New York being interviewed saying that they're registered to vote and they're illegal. And you've got Republican states having to take people that are registered to vote that are not legal off the ballots. It's like by the thousands they're doing it. But no, they always win the popular vote. I wonder why that is the case. But yeah, no, this is true. You've got old-fashioned liberals who say the Democratic Party, they hate our founding fathers. They think all white people are racist. We cannot support it. We cannot vote with people that hate their own country and have too much self-hate. So now many liberals are admitting and saying the modern Kamala Harris, Biden, whatever you want. I wouldn't even call it Biden, because Biden at this point is a corpse. I mean, that dude was in his prime 15, 20, 30 years ago. At this point, he's not thinking for himself. They're telling him what to say, everything like that. I mean, obviously now it's totally ridiculous. They're not even trying. They're admitting it was all, a ruse and it was all fake anyways, with him going on vacations now because technically he doesn't have to do anything considering he's not running for re-election. But just in general, the modern liberal party, they've admitted that they hate America. They hate what we stand for. They hate our amendments. They think we should revise the First Amendment because people shouldn't have freedom to say whatever they want because people can't be trusted and there needs to be massive government overwatch. This is what they've said, and they're envious of the UK and they're envious of Brazil for being able to. I mean, Robert Reich, one of the prominent liberals, said that Elon Musk needs to go to jail because he runs a social media platform that liberals don't agree with, and they view him as spreading disinformation. So because he doesn't agree with modern the big modern government here in the United States, Elon Musk should go to jail. So these are their views, and this is why these old-fashioned liberals are saying this is not what we stand for. We like freedom of speech. We like capitalism. We like all these things. You talk about capitalism, they want to stop investing. They don't want people investing. 45% capital gains tax. It's basically half your money. You include state income tax in California is around 60%. And then you've got the unrealized gains, which will just kill everyone because the trickle down effect. You can't tax people for money they don't have. It's going to cause them to sell stock. Yes, even the multi millionaires, then it's going to cause the stock to go down. So it's a big problem. And RFK Jr. is right. There's a lot of liberals that have come out, including himself. I mean, RFK Jr., he had to run as an independent because they basically rigged the primary against him and said he couldn't be on ballots in certain states. So he knows exactly what they're talking about. We've got Kamala HQ. These people are getting very desperate again with the lies. And it's almost like they lie on purpose. All of these things have been disproven. It's just like, Trump disrespecting the servicemen, suckers and losers, him saying, there's very fine people, that the Charlottesville thing, and now saying, oh, he told people to inject bleach when it's been proven to be a lie time and time and time and time and time again. But they keep repeating it. But it's like they're almost trying to troll us because we all know it's a lie. And it's like, do we have to keep correcting them, or are they just going to keep saying it? Right. Because here it is again. Over 1 million Americans died, and he told us to inject. Well, over 1 million Americans died. Yeah, it was the worst pandemic we've seen in like a century. You're the people that wanted to shut the country down and have zero COVID, and we would have deflation, which is worse. And that's exactly what China has because they did zero COVID. They wanted zero COVID. They would have gotten it because the executive branch has major power. They would have forced a lot of states to just totally shut down and stay shut down. Remember, Trump opened the government up and the economy up after only a month, and they criticized it. And they said, well, he caused all these people to die. Well, they would have destroyed basically everything. Liberals would have if they would have been in power because everything would have stayed shut down for God knows how long. Remember, they shut schools down and said it was the right thing. And now look at all of the tests that have come out about kids. They've dumped more money than ever into these public schools, and the kids' scores are going down because they spent a year and a half of their development at home learning nothing. A second and third grader, they're not going to learn anything online school. That's ridiculous. They're the ones that wanted it. And now it's like, oh, who do we blame for all these kids not knowing anything? Because the liberals wanted them to stay at home because of the big bad pandemic and everything like that. And listen, it was a horrible pandemic. I agree. But we can't act like we can't huddle, with ourselves and hug ourselves for like 5 years and say, lock ourselves in our closets. That's what they wanted to do. You have to move on. So these are very important things. And then you do also have this a 2024 model update. We've got Pennsylvania now flipping The Economist. Now, this model, it had Trump at like an 85% chance to beat Biden. Obviously, with some of the polls, I mean, the thing is with any of these models, they have to start properly weighing based off of 2020 and 2016, and none of them ever do it. Now, maybe a few of them are starting to, and that's why you're seeing Trump go up to like 65% chance to win. If you weigh, especially a state like Wisconsin, based off of the error in 2020 and 2016, meaning how much it underestimated Trump, Trump should be up by like 3.5, 4 points in that state minimum, according to any analytical model, if you weigh it properly. The problem is they don't weigh it. They take an ABC poll that has Harris up by 7 in Wisconsin and say it's gospel. Well, no. We've seen in 2020 and 2016, it's been off by like 9 points both times. Now, you could say, well, they've corrected it. I highly doubt that. But you could say that, and if that's the hill you want to die on, then go ahead. But you can see some of these models now, they've turned it around. They're flipping Pennsylvania. You've got Georgia, Arizona, North Carolina. We would also say Wisconsin is leading Trump right now, as well as Nevada. I would say Trump probably has about a 55 to a 60 at least percent chance, maybe even higher than that, to win Nevada. We've also these things have to be trolls. So Mark Cuban and liberals keep doing this. I wonder if it's just engagement or what. Whose persona and character would you like to see young children grow up to have? Like, obviously, Trump was going to win this. If nothing else, for the trolls. Like, and then they get angry and then they say, well, it's, the poll is messed up or there's a problem with it. And how nice would it be to get rid of anonymous accounts on Twitter? So Mark, it's just weird. But you know what? I do agree with Mark Cuban. He said the poll people voted multiple times. I do think Russia hacked the poll. I think the Russians hacked the poll and made Trump win. Guys, when Trump wins in 2024, it's going to be the Russians. I mean, we know, dude, the Russians. Why do the Russians keep interfering with our elections? They took 2020 off. They did take 2020 off, but they're going to come back in 2024. And when Trump wins, it's Russia. I mean, just ask Joe Scarborough. Just ask Morning Joe. He'll tell you a new poll that just came out found Kamala Harris underwater in terms of her disapproval at around 52.5%. 52% of independents disapprove, while only 44% approve, and that's with a sample of +7 Democrat. And really, that should be even higher. I mean, there should be a higher disapproval than that, considering she was -14, -15. The fact that she's gone up that much just shows you how much people are manipulated by mainstream media fake hype. It's very sad, but when she wasn't getting any of that fake hype, and some of it is okay. When you're the VP, you're in the shadows. Nobody's really going to like you anyways, but so you're going to get some bump there. But the idea that she's turned her approval rating around by 15 to 20 points is simply ridiculous. What has she done to actually turn it around other than get, blown smoke up her ass by the mainstream media? That's been virtually it. So I do think she certainly is still at least at -5, -6, -7 in terms of approval rating. You've got this. I mean, this is just more desperation. They're starting to get really desperate. They really need this debate to go well because their numbers are sinking and their internal numbers. And we've been told this by so many of the top Democrats, where they'll say the internal numbers are a lot worse. We're trying to warn normal Democratic people that the polls are really not this good. It's worse than the public is being led to believe. Donald Trump vows to be a dictator on day one. And so they're still going with that cope, and that it's just all crap. We've got this: calling people who lost children in a terrorist attack vile because they don't share your political views is vile. That was due to the Afghanistan thing and everything that's come out. And then you've got some liberal, and see, this is how these people act. They double, they triple, they quadruple down. Let me be very, very clear. They are vile. I'm doubling down, inviting Trump to a sacred site because you wanted to hang out with him. Okay, they also invited Biden and Harris as well to help him. See, these people, they're not informed on the topic. It's very sad. Like, the premise of her entire argument, you're not correct. Let me explain. Well, you know what? Is there even a point to explaining it? I don't know if there's a point to it. So you're saying that that these people who lost loved ones invited Trump so it could help him with his campaign because it would make him look good for going and honoring these people. Well, then why did they also invite Biden and Harris and not even get a phone call back? So see, there's just a lack of understanding with even basic stuff when it comes to this. And then they lash out and they call people that lost loved ones vile because no, they support the big, bad, horrible Donald Trump. I mean, he's basically Hitler. No, I agree. It's so bad. See, this is why a lot of traditional liberals are leaving the party because the modern Democratic Party hates the country. I mean, if you hate the country, you should not be in power. And people are starting to realize it. People are realizing if you hate American values, you should not be in power. And so that's what people are understanding, and that's why you've got all of these independents, all of these liberals. That's why Trump's up now in every poll, if you adjust it for the errors in 2020 and 2016. And then here's another example of it. You've got this dude at the Minnesota State Fair calling out Tim Walz and saying he ran from debating Vance, which he did. Vance wanted 2 debates. He only did 1 debate, and then they had to cut the feed. So he's talking about it, and then they cut the feed.
So far into just before Halloween, and you know that he's actually using you to put out his message that I want to debate. He doesn't want.
Got to cut that off. Yep. There it is. Remember when there was a report that the ABC pollster had Trump up, and then he went to his bosses. He's like, yeah, I have Trump up in this poll, and they're like, wait, you have Trump up? You're fired. That's what they'll do now. A lot of these big time pollsters, they're like, wait, you have Trump up? Yeah, you're fired, dude. Time to go. But again, the polls are all they have to be propaganda for Harris because she doesn't actually have anything to stand on. She's flip flopped on so many things. That's why the CNN interview was so revealing. She's endorsed the wall. You want to talk to her about that? And of course, she's not even the one that says it. This is how pathetic the entire campaign is. She gets one of her anonymous aides to say it randomly, like her anonymous aides with like glasses. She endorses the wall. She can. It's like, dude, can she say something? Like, can she talk? This is ridiculous. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.